Played Grand Rig, you know. It's,
And the way I work it, is like, is I,
Yeah.
every night.
As long as she keeps
yeah.
them under control, they
Oh,
feel
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like I say,
well, my daughter and son,
And like I say,
they on
and I'm gonna
5'8".
set
As
it up
long
where
as
it's
they keep, I
online.
mean,
Trust me,
as long
that's
as
the way
somebody
you
don't
wanna keep it.
fall,
Yeah. You know, 'cause I've been down there. I have sat down there.
tell her until somebody tells her.
You know, you register 2 and
regularly scheduled meeting of the Sneads Town Council for the month of August now come to order. We will make note of the present, please. And I'd ask everyone to stand and let's say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would remain standing. I'm going to ask Mr. Jason if you wouldn't lead us in a word of prayer.
Father, we thank you for the days, Lord, that you've created, Lord, that you've gone before us, and you've established your word and your will. Lord, we thank you for this town. We thank you for the people who are assembled here, and we thank you for those who couldn't make it tonight. Lord, bless all of them. Lord, keep all of them. Lord, lead, guide, and direct tonight as we make decisions for the town. Lord, just thank you for all your mercy and all your grace and all that you do in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Everyone's had an opportunity to look over the minutes. I'll entertain on the consent agenda, entertain a motion to accept it.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Motion by Mr. Arnold to accept the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Mock. All in favor, by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, the first item tonight for discussion or action will be to approve the audit for 23-24. Mr. Johnson.
We got a lot of old folks here.
Okay, I get it.
You can come out here.
That's okay. They can take your mind.
I want to first start off, I'm Chris Johnson with Grimsley and Associate. Thank you guys and ladies for serving on the board. I know how it is, and a lot of times you don't get the attaboys, you just get the criticism, and I appreciate your time and effort that you put for the town of Sneads and the community. You have the audit report there in front of you. I just want to touch on a couple of items. 2024, you were subject to what's called a single audit. Your grant revenues exceeded $750,000. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is your mic on?
Is his mic on?
It's on, yes. It's turned all the way down.
Turn it up.
Maybe adjust it up so it's closer to your face.
Turn it up. We partying.
Ready? Ready?
Yes, sir.
You're subject to single audit for 2024. Your grant revenues exceeded $750,000 federal, so you had a federal single
Can't
audit.
hear.
We turn it down because I'm not calling anybody out, but we can't hear other people, and when that's turned up, it blares here, so.
Give it just a,
Me?
All of y'all.
All right.
Every one of y'all.
Chris, just the mic up.
You can turn it down.
He was subject to a single audit.
all right.
2024. Your revenues, grant revenues for federal exceeded $750,000. That was due to the CDBG grants that you received. But if you want to look at a few pages, and I made some notes on some things that I think, just some recommendations that maybe some of the recommendations I would have has already been put into play. Some of them you might consider. Page 8. The audit report is broken down. The first part is what's called considered a management discussion and analysis. This is the opportunity for your staff to highlight some of the things that's taking place in the city or the town, and also some of the things that you expect to do in the town. But it also gives you a comparison on a government-wide level on how things have done from year to year. It's got 23 versus 24. And it's from the audit standpoint, we look at a lot of things, but we also, we really concentrate on, improving or going backwards. If you look at your general fund or governmental funds on page 8, you look at the very bottom, you'll notice that the total net position in the governmental funds went up. That's good. That's what we want. But if you look at the water and sewer or business type, it went down. A big part of that is something that's a non-cash item called depreciation. You guys have a water and sewer system set up that has to be depreciated out over an extended period of time. Most of the water or sewer system that gets depreciated over 40 years. So it's a non-cash item, but it has to be part of the financial statements because some point in time you're going to have to replace that water or sewer system, so it gets added back. You turn over to page 15, and please, if you have a question, if you'll just stop me, I'll be happy to. '15 is fund level statements. You notice you have general fund and other funds across the top. Those other funds is the street department. Your local option gas tax is broken out. That's what the intergovernmental revenue for that other fund, that's what that is. Keep in mind the fund level statements differ from the government-wide level statements from the standpoint of fixed assets. That's what that is, recorded as expense. And the fund level, they recorded as assets in the government-wide. So you're looking at the same general fund there. You look down the third number from the bottom, net change in fund balance. General fund had a loss of $51,430. That can be a factor of a lot of things. I know you guys are working on your budget, and you've already looked at a few things that could impact that. But if you look at the expenditures there, I'm not going to go into detail of any of the expenditures there, but we break the expenditures down between general government, public safety, physical environment, transportation, health, so on and so forth. And then we have capital outlay. Capital outlay is large equipment expenditures that you purchase during the year. But there is some things there's some expenditures there that look, I think you've already considered some of them. So, but the street department was okay. They had a positive net change in fund balance. The CDBG stormwater project went through the other funds or street department. Moving on to page 17.
Mr. Johnson, can I ask a question? And I'm done about this kind of stuff, so this will probably sound dumb to you too. But, all right, when you say expenditures, for instance, health, I guess under general fund, that's the health insurance we provide, correct?
No, ma'am, that governmental regulations say that certain things are broken down by categorical. Health could be something as simple as, and I'm not saying that you do this, but if you paid the county to do mosquito spraying, that would fall under public health and safety.
Okay, gotcha.
If you paid for the health department to come in and do something, that's what goes under public health and safety.
All right, well, you've got.
So it would be your health insurance. Your health insurance for your governmental employees would be under the general government. For your public safety, that would be your fire and your police department.
Okay, but health, you said, would be like mosquito spray and that kind of thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so public safety, strictly police, fire department, that kind of thing?
That's right. And you see there's not that much in your health categorical line item. Culture and Rec would be your recreation department or parks, things of that nature.
Okay.
17 is getting into your water and sewer and your solid waste. Your solid waste department's making money because you're basically guaranteed a profit out of the solid waste because you contracted that service out, and you're basically just do the billing. That's a very good thing, very positive thing. But looking over on the page 18, if you look at the net position, third number from the bottom on water and sewer, changing net positions, I lost 340,000. Don't be alarmed by that number, because your depreciation was 319,000. That's what makes up a large portion of that. But I bring that to point because at some point in time, those utility systems will have to be replaced. Either you get a grant to replace some of it, and the state has been very, very good about affording towns and cities money to do improvements. But governmental accounting standards says we have to record depreciation. What I would recommend, and I think, talking to Ms. Danielle, I think you have already done some of this. I would recommend doing a rate study. Probably wouldn't cost you anything. If it did, the state has been giving out grants to do rate studies and things of that nature. Just make sure your rates are in line with what the standards are. Also, you have the prison system here in town. Just make sure that your rates are consistent with other cities and towns and the state average.
Chris, I was just gonna mention to you, with ACI alone, back in the fall of last year, we did a study and we did a new contract with them and increased, and it's averaging about $19,000-$20,000 more a month.
Wow.
So that will take care of a lot of.
Yeah.
That'd be after this.
But that was not in this, that was.
Right.
So that's not included in
Not
this
included in
then?
this year, this was the previous year, so it won't show, but probably almost a quarter million dollars.
So next year, that number should look a lot better.
It will look a lot better.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of times we get lax and we don't consider things like that, but it's almost a yearly, bi-yearly thing. You have to consider all those things. Utility rates go up, electricity's went up, salaries have went up, health insurances went up. You know, it costs money to operate, and so you have to consider those things. Move on. If you need to, if you want some good reading, you can read the notes to the financial statements. It basically describes a lot of the things that's in the numbers. There'll be a breakout of your debt. There'll be a breakout of receivables and all that good stuff. There's some good stuff in there about Florida retirement and some things of that nature, especially when you can't sleep at night. I'm going to move on over to page 45. Looking at the budget, one of the requirements the state said was the town within budget for general fund, and yes, you were within budget. But one thing I do point out, and I know Mr. Bill, they've been working on this. I know you guys have been working on this. You budgeted to use reserves last year. Sometimes that happens, and you know you can't do anything else about it. But keep that in mind. But you were within budget, so all is good there. There was no findings this year. Hadn't been any in the past several years, so that's always good. Your financials are healthy. You're very consistent with audit 15 local towns and cities in the southeast. You're very average when it comes to comparison to some of the other towns and cities. There is a lot of grant money that's being thrown around now, so I would make sure you're in line to get some of that. But overall, I think you're in pretty healthy shape in comparison to the other towns and cities that we operate in. Any questions?
Yes, sir. No, you have any?
Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you speaking up, Dave. Thank you.
All right, the next item we'll talk about tonight will be approved, health insurance increase.
Do we need to approve that?
Oh, make a motion, okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
I'm jumping the gun.
I'll make a motion to accept the findings.
Motion by Mr. Arnold to approve the audit findings, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Locke, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you. All right, now we'll move on up to, approved health insurance increase. Y'all wanna talk on that just a minute?
Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, so the health insurance is, well, we're gonna do a health insurance study, and we're small, we're less than 25 employees, so a lot of carriers will not even consider writing us. So with Blue Cross, they came up with a couple of different plans for us, that's who we currently have. And even going back with them, it's gonna be a 16% increase for our employees. So, like I said, some carriers would not even quote us because we're so small. We currently have, I think I gave y'all the numbers there, I didn't write it on my own, but how many employees? I think we have, 8 employees that are currently on the, health insurance. So, it'll go up, each plan there, I told y'all that it would go up $11,913 overall for the town.
Are other employees not on it because they can't afford it?
No, they are either with their spouse or they have it elsewhere, but most of them have it with their spouse. Now, their part will not increase. We're gonna keep theirs the same, so they'll still pay the same bi-weekly, either $90, $60, or $35 bi-weekly. It's the town's portion that will be going up.
How much will the town's portion go up on each one? Is it,
It's right.
is
it's
that it highlighted?
Yeah, the highlighted amount will be what the town will pay on each plan monthly.
And these are the plans they've picked? Is that why it's broken
Yeah,
down in three?
yeah,
Okay.
They pick from these 3 plans, cause it's kinda like a 50-50, 70-30, 80-20 plan,
Okay.
depending on, how much they wanna pay per plan. And they pay $35, $60, or $90 bi-weekly, and then the town covers the rest. The plans are going up 16%.
And this is just single coverage, it ain't family?
No, this is just single coverage. Well, you can see each one. This is employee, this is spouse employee.
Okay, I got you.
We only have one other person that's on employee and spouse. We don't have anybody else that's on any of the other plans anymore. Most everybody is on employee only. You can't, if you look at prices, you can't afford the other ones
Right.
because we're so small. We're less than 25. Nobody wants to quote us.
Yeah. I feel if they're gonna work for us, we need to take care of them.
I agree.
That's
my
kinda how we
feeling.
feel, since there's not that many on it, but still, it's,
So that's 8 doing this?
yeah. That's a lot of money, but still, it's not like a lot of our employees get paid a lot.
Right.
No, and they need health insurance, so.
We don't wanna increase their amount, so we absorb the cost.
Exactly. Got
Split.
that bullet.
Pleasure of the council.
I say let's approve it.
Motion by Ms. Locke to approve the increase, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Arnold, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries, thank you. That'd be almost like getting a raise, just about now.
Yeah, they have to consider that.
All right, next item would be, Melvin Engineer updates. How are you gonna talk to us on that, please?
Hello, good afternoon.
How you doing?
Good to see you all. I don't have a formal presentation written down to present to you guys, but I did just want to, field any questions if you had some, and then also want to talk about a few of the grant opportunities that are out there that Mr. Johnson spoke about, to give you an update on what's out there, and then get your feedback on what we might want to go after in the future. So, I think maybe I can just start by should be a handout in front of you. Different grant opportunities. So if you had a chance to look at that, great. And just wanted to, there's lots of different things, but as far as the things we're looking at, just wanted to give you like an update on the things that we are trying to go after for you. So the biggest one, the soonest one, is what's called FDEP FERDAP, which is related to park development. It's what we used to develop Dodson Park last year. This year, we're trying to go after funds to fix up the park across the street over here, Sneads Park. And so I think the main thing we're gonna go after is, lighting for the baseball fields, shade for the playgrounds, and doing some playground renovations as well. So if you have any ideas, I think get those over to Mr. Bill, and he can get that to me, and we can help get that in our application. The other one we're looking at for Sneads is to install digital water meters. I know that's kind of a priority for you guys. There's a FDEP program out there that we can use to go after that. So we're gonna put together that application as well. And then the other big one, which we're helping ARPC put together, is to do some water system repairs as well. So that's under the rural infrastructure program. So if you guys have anything you want to hit me with, definitely great, but just want to let you know.
On that further out,
Yes.
will that help us if we get everything, all the i's dotted, t's crossed at Sneads Park, that'll help us possibly for that money?
Yes, so just a quick background, it's up to $200,000, no match required by the town or the city, and you can use it to do anything related to park development. And so I think in the past, we talked about doing, I think the priority is lighting for the fields. So I think with that amount of money, we can get maybe 1 or 2 fields done with the additional playground improvements as well. So that would be the plan.
Sounds good.
We can just get one field at a time done, that'd be good.
So,
What about the Department of Ag? Can we go after that one again for lighting?
yeah, so the grant program we used last, or I guess maybe a year and a half ago now, to replace the current lights. That's not open this year. That was the special money they had gotten, I guess, from some allocation they received, but it's not around this year. So, yeah. But if it is, we'll be watching to make sure that if it does come out, we'll apply for it.
You may want to mention the log cabin.
Mm.
We've done some architectural work on that to get the log cabin redone. The architect has completed all that, so now we're gonna go through the Historical Society and try to get a construction grant so that we can go ahead and do some upgrades to the, I've seen the architectural designs, and I'm no architect by any stretch, but looks pretty nice. And so hopefully we can get a construction grant and get that done as well. Hunter's been real involved in that as well.
Yeah, they gave us their engineer or their architect's estimate for cost to rehab the log cabin was right around like $580,000 to rehab everything. So what that means is when we go after money, if we go through the Department of Historical Resources, the town would have to come up with 25% of that cost. So that's something that we can budget for and plan for in the future, but that would be, at least we know what the damage would be, so that's good.
Chris, you think we can do this? I'm stuck.
Just the Gloucester Avenue Park should be done this week. They're laying the sod. We're hoping that that'll all go well and all take this time nicely, and that project will be closed out. The road project will be closed out, and then the wastewater project will be moving to the bid process to do the contact chamber replacement, or the catwalk across the contact chamber soon. So we'll keep it rolling.
Keep it moving on?
Yep.
And we're still doing stormwater, that's out there as well.
Yes, that's almost done. We're working with the railroad right now on the permit to be able to put that water underneath the railroad, so.
Hauling and some of the
Yep.
other streets.
So
hoping
y'all,
that it's gonna be,
y'all gonna take care of us on the south side of the track too, right?
hopefully, hopefully it'll all be taken, go over there. Depending on how much the railroad will work with us, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I understand that.
All right. You got any other questions for me?
Okay.
We
cool.
appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, number 7 will be Recreation Coordinating Committee.
This will be a new committee coming on.
Yeah, I was gonna mention, the people that's been running the committee are stepping down. They've
Yep.
done a good job in the past. So we got a new group coming on, and Danielle and I met with them earlier this week, and they've got a good group, we think, of people that'll be aboard to continue what we've had in the past. They wanna continue and maybe even do better. And so they're here tonight to talk about some of the things. We got some articles of incorporation so that we can go ahead and get them involved and get them situated and start them fresh, and I'm gonna let them go from there.
Yeah, my name's Ronnie Harrison. We're here to just introduce ourselves. Here with me is Nick Goodwin. He's gonna be a board member, myself being the new president. And along coming with us is gonna be Caitlin O'Neill, Emily Goodwin, and Justin Galbraith, all of which right here in Sneads. And the reason for the swapping hands is mainly because the way everything's set up, you know, it's all volunteer based. So you're coming in early on when your kid's getting involved, everything else, you want to get involved. You want to try to do better for parks and recreation here in town. So it's almost expected every 5 to 7 years, you're going to be swapping hands. Your kids are moving forward, you're going with them. You know, you're not, most people volunteer based, they're not going to stay, you know, committed to the rec side of things when their kids are going into middle school, playing sports and everything else. And that's the reason behind it all. But we got a really good group of people coming with us that want to see the park do better and beautify the park a lot more than it has been. And it's really just the small things, you know, that could use some attention. But just a little bit about myself. I grew up here in Sneads, lived here all my life. I've always maintained the Sneads address. Now, granted, I've never lived in the city limits, but as we probably all know, the community goes outside those city limit signs. You know, my parents graduated here, my siblings, myself, my kids go to school here. Really kind of just hometown people. And same with the rest, you know, if y'all recognize any of those names, you know that they have been here as well. Now, Justin, on the other hand, him and his wife moved here, what, 4 years ago? 4 years ago, yeah. From the other side of the county, or towards Chipley area, working for West Florida Electric, and that's what he does. Him and his wife are very involved in the community and the sports down at the field, and just really good group of people. I'm sure y'all may know the others, Emily Goodwin and Caitlin O'Neill. Same deal with them. You know, grew up here, been here all their life, kind of deal. Nick, you want to say anything about yourself?
So those of you that don't know me, I know a couple of you guys, the ones that don't know me, my name's Nick Goodwin. First, I'm a husband. I'm a father of 2. I would say my passion for my community begins with my career as a lineman at West Florida Electric. It is a privilege that I hold close to my heart to be able to serve the town that molded me into who I am today. Without this place, I wouldn't be anything without it. Turn the lights on the storm situations for the community I take so much pride in. Made it no surprise that earlier this year, while helping coach my son's Wee-Ball team, I noticed myself taking more time with the kids one-on-one, picking up at the field a little bit, just little things like that, and it instilled a sense of pride in me, because I firmly believe that the youth we coach and guide today will be the building blocks for our community to thrive on in the years to come. I'm very excited to be a part of the board. The whole board, like Ronnie said, we all share the same beliefs. We all believe in our kids. We love our kids. We love your kids. We want all kids to succeed and go as far as they can in life. And I think with all our ideas matched and the various resources that we're able to obtain, that we can watch the rec department grow and thrive in its future years.
And kind of touching base on what Nick just said, you know, a lot of our goals are, as new members coming on and trying to take this thing over, and then as long as everybody, you know, still realizes that, hey, we're volunteers, you know, we're not making a dime doing this. We're taking time away from our family, you know, and providing for others. But, you know, probably our main goal is to make the park bigger and better than ever for the youth of the community, because, I mean, that's where it starts. You know, I mean, now granted, the way I think, obviously the parents, you know, have to do their part as well to teach the youth, but with being down there and coaches and all, I'm sure everybody in this room, if you ever played sports, you remember when you were a kid and the coach you remembered, you know, and that's a lot of our goal, is just kind of getting more back into that and being more community involved, you know, with the recreation property down there, and getting the most out of all of it, not just a little piece here and there. Go ahead.
To touch on the improvements and stuff that we want to get done at the park, we want to stress the point, we want to be 100% transparent with anybody, whether it be you guys, a member of the community. We want to be transparent financially. We want to come in here and try to make it a point to let you guys know what's going on down there, you know, even if it's just, hey, you know, we painted a dugout this week, you know, we want to let you guys know that there's progress being made and that there's stuff being done.
Yeah, and that's another thing I'll say, you know, going forward, either myself or one of the other four, every month we're gonna be here, even if we have nothing to say, we're gonna say something. You know, giving updates on what's happening and everything else. We got a lot going on. We got between all of us and people we know and connections and all the equipment that's available to us, and, you know, we're gonna be doing our best to just take that place and do a whole 360 with it. I mean, and that's a lot of it for me, is I've watched that place. I grew up playing ball there. We have had some upgrades in the years. It ain't been many, but it's about the same. And, you know, I think it needs to just continue to be a lot better and going forward, just getting better over time, you know, getting the youth more involved in different community activities and not just sports, and having other, you know, community events down there to try to utilize that park a little more. And then kind of going back to the kids just a little bit, you know, some of the things I've seen this past year coaching ball, several kids, you could tell if you come from a little broken home, and what I like the most about it, I think, is that you're able to really teach kids, you know, discipline and manners and respect, you know, teamwork, and really most of all, just how to like overcome failure at an early age. Because I mean, you lose a ball game, you're upset, but you learn to overcome that. You know, and I think that's what it's all about, because a lot of kids nowadays, they don't get that at the house, you know, none of it. And that's kind of where we're at. That's where all of our heads are at, is really giving back to the youngins and just making it bigger and better for them. And then that also includes the town, you know, needing just as much support and help from the community and the city as we can possibly get. We're kind of taking this thing on and sort of start from scratch. Don't really have much to work with. We've got several already fundraisers lined up. Matter of fact, there's one going on as we speak down at Johnny Mac's. So if it's early enough, go eat at Johnny Mac's, and we get 10% of whatever's brought in tonight, and that's going directly towards all of the parks and all, and just trying to, you know, build stuff up down there. Now, we did have a meeting with Mr. Bill last week when all this kind of come about, and just kind of getting down to the numbers of everything. You know, it's been for years. I know the city took it back over several years ago with sign up, registration fees, all this, that, and the other. But there's been some gray areas, and for a long time. And we want to be as transparent with everybody, with everything we got going on, and that's down to separate bank accounts and concession stand money. And there's always these questions of, hey, where's this stuff going? And you know, I want to hand it to you in black and white. You know, that's just the way I work, and that's where every one of us are at. And you know, I'd eventually love to get to the point of where the rec department, especially with sports, is able to take care of itself and not have to burden the city with different things like the registration fees coming in, paying for uniforms, and going back and forth, and all this, that, and the other. And I think that's where we all kind of want to get to, and that's just one less thing the city has to deal with, in my opinion. You know, us as volunteers, yeah, we may not want to take on anymore, but that's what we're here for. You know, that we taking this thing head on, and every one of us, we're go-getters, and we don't take no for an answer, kind of thing. You know, if we want something done, if we can't get no help, we're gonna go do it ourselves, kind of deal. And so I guess with some of that, you know, everything's changing hands, names are changing. We kind of taking it back to kind of how it used to be. We'd love to change the name back to Sneads Recreation Association, SRA. That's what I grew up knowing. You know what? That's what we called it. And that's something me and Mr. Bill touched on, and I guess that would be a lawyer question, you know, as far as that.
down.
And now if it's too aggravating to do that, I understand, but we, you know, everything's swapping hands, we're gonna have a lot of changes going forward, and, you'll be able to see that almost immediately here coming up. But I guess, you know, one of the main things is, that I was told, I guess maybe y'all would have to approve as far as when everything gets swapped over, new accounts, new this, that, and the other. The registration fees for uniforms have always come to the city. Then the volunteer staff down gets all their info, send it in, you know, and it's a lot of back and forth. And then also a lot of the times in a lot of years, it's either broke even with uniforms or it's costed some, you know, as far as my knowledge. And so we would like to take that off of the city as a burden on them and take that over ourselves, because I know we've done check and everything else. We can cut cost and a lot of this stuff and have the same type of, you know, uniform stuff and good looking everything, and just cutting cost immediately. But we want to take them extra funds and put it back into the park, and that goes back into, we want to be as transparent, you know, as we possibly can. If that's something y'all would allow, you know, every month somebody's gonna be here, myself or somebody else, bank statements, checks, you know, receipts on everything. If somebody asks me a question, here it is, you know, and that's just how it should be. I don't want any gray areas. I don't want any, you know, misunderstandings or people questioning. There's always rumors floating around, and that's the worst. You know, but I want to address some of those things if that does come about. And that's just the way I work on a daily basis. You know, I want to show you in black and white of what's going on here. Somebody questions something about some money, and that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. You know, I want to be able to show it to you. So that's one of our main deals as far as that is hopefully to eventually take that back over. Like I said, again, just trying to take that off of the city, and then that way we know we're cutting cost on this. We'll have this much left over that then we can save to put forward into the next season, or put into sprucing up the park some way or another, or buying more equipment, or taking care of this, that, and the other. And then I have talked with Mr. Bill about that as well, I guess within the budget, as far as that's concerned. If that was to happen and everybody allowed it, that even within the budget, the insurances and all down at the park for different sports and just the park in general, it still be covered through the regular budget. So, you know, there was a lot of mishaps with uniform ordering and pricing on all that stuff before. But like I say, when we do something, we go ahead first and do it the best way possible, and try to save money wherever we can to take that extra to put back in it.
Y'all
feel
gonna be
like we-
ready for, I'm sorry,
Oh.
y'all gonna be ready for soccer?
Yeah, we're
Oh, yeah.
ready.
And this is all swapping hands, and soccer sign-ups are ending Sunday.
Yeah.
We extended it a little bit. But I mean, just for example, Caitlin, she took down 600 flyers to the school yesterday so the teachers can hand them out to all their youngins, you know, stuff like that. When we say we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna probably do it 10 times better than what you was expecting. And that's, you know, a lot of people say see it or believe it. Well, you'll be seeing here shortly. We got a lot of ideas, a lot of plans.
Back to the registration fees thing, go ahead, sorry.
Well, not good.
We're trying to see, like you said, with the transparency thing, if we wanna get to a point where the rec department will take care of the rec department, with the money changing hands like that, it's hard to see where our shortcomings are, so it's hard to plan for a future plan. So we feel like with the registration fees going to us, it'd be able to establish us a baseline to kind of know what to build off, where we needed to make cuts, you know, what we could do to better use the money. And we realize that the city's got tons of stuff going on, so like Ronnie said, if some volunteers can come in and take that off y'all's hands, you know, we would love to do that, because y'all got bigger fish to fry.
I think all you have to do is get whatever their email is gonna be, go to that company we're using, and they could change that over.
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all understand how it works. So right now, their rec website, when someone pays their fee, it goes into, the rec department has its own bank account. All those sign-up fees go into that account. And then whenever they get ready to pay, like get uniforms, they go and order from, you know, wherever. They bring that bill to us, we pay the bill for the uniforms. That's, their sign-up fees pays for their uniforms and their insurance, because we have to have
Right.
insurance on every kid. But we've actually been going in the hole because they've been buying these extravagant uniforms. So the sign-up fee has not really been paying for the uniforms. We've been, like, just this last fall season, we've discussed, we've actually went in the hole a little bit because they overspent on, close your ears, Chris. They actually overspent on uniforms.
But you said y'all shopped around already, right?
Oh, yeah, and there's cuts everywhere, but, you know, what she just said, that, in my opinion, I run a business daily, and, you know, that's just ridiculous, in my opinion, and not called for at all. You know, I mean, everybody wants to look nice, of course, and still will, same type of materials, you know, everybody likes to dry fit stuff, everything.
Right.
I love it myself, and it'll be the same stuff, but, you know, we've got different prices from 3 or 4 different people,
Yeah,
you know,
they
and,
don't shop around, they haven't
Yeah.
been shopping around.
What we need to do to, you know, to start with, I want to say I appreciate y'all stepping up, taking it.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
It's an
100%.
awesome responsibility.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate it because I'm not involved in it other than on the board.
Yes.
But the other crew did a tremendous job also, and.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And one
100%.
thing, and sitting here listening to both of y'all, I mean, don't let no kids go lacking there. I mean, if you got some that can't make it because the parent's not able to do it, or help them, find somebody, let's help them.
oh, we
Let us know.
We gonna work with y'all any way we can, and I would like
Do you
to
think there's an issue?
go ahead and help y'all get this transition made
Do you
to
think there's an issue of
work
giving it
with
back
Bill,
to them?
however y'all gotta do it to turn it over to y'all. I mean, that way, like you said earlier, I mean, if you see what your baseline is,
Yeah.
you know what you can do, what you can't do.
Y'all have your own website.
Turn it over to y'all. I mean, that way, like you said earlier, I mean, if you see what your baseline is, you know what you can do, what you can't do.
Y'all have your own website.
Turn it over to y'all. I mean, that way, like you said earlier, I mean, if you see what your baseline is, you know what you can do, what you can't do. Turn it over to y'all. I mean, that way, like you said earlier, I mean, if you see what your baseline is,
So then they can do their.
Incorporated.
So then they can do their.
Yeah, but if it had been used before, you can't use it again.
We'll have to talk to DYB. They're ready up down in Sneads Recreation Department.
Yeah, but if it had been used before, you can't use it again.
and myself,
We'll have to talk
I'd
to
like to kind of
DYB.
jump into that.
They're ready up there in
The
Sneads.
ball season comes up that side.
We got a little time.
Oh, yeah.
To work on that, but we need to get it changed. We need to make a motion to kind of.
Timmy will be glad to hear you.
He gonna have to.
And what I do for DYB is voluntary too. People don't realize that. That's what I do is voluntary. Every bit of it.
He gonna have to.
And what I do for DYB is voluntary too. People don't realize that. That's what I do is voluntary. Every bit of it.
He gonna have to.
And what I do for DYB is voluntary too. People don't realize that. Very advisable to keep that online sign up. You can create an email for your organization, you know what I mean? And so they get that changed over, you know, get to the company, change it, that online sign up. I'll make a motion. You can create an email for your organization, you know what I mean? And so they get that changed over, get to the company, change it, that online sign up. I'll make a motion. You can create an email
We
for your
appreciate y'all.
organization, you know what I mean?
We'll help you in any way.
Thank y'all very much. Just one other thing I want to touch on, and what Hunter was talking about, you know, as far as the grant stuff, I already kind of went around some of that a couple weeks ago, because I know Brent, Melvin as well, and said that they are more than happy to help. I already kind of went around some of that, you know, as far as all that weeks ago things. I know mainly the lights thing is probably the biggest, mainly because of the tournaments, you know, how they swap from districts, going from district to state as main district region, the lights, you know, or
That's gonna be changed.
Okay, well, either way, with state tournament deals, you know, we won't be allowed to host nothing, and that's where your money makers are. You know, that's how you get that extra funds back into it. We can't do it, we don't have state deals. But we're gonna be working on a lot of that. We're already well ahead of the game on a lot of this stuff, and we just really appreciate the community support and every little thing we try to do down there, because at the end of the day, it's all going back to your kids or your grandkids or great grands, you know. Really appreciate it, and that's where we're at with just unified forward, trying to do make it better for the kids and the community. It's all going back to your kids or your grandkids or great grands, you know. Really appreciate it, and that's where we're at with just unified forward, trying to do make it better for the kids and the community. It's all going back to your kids or your grandkids or great grands, you know. And that's where we're at with just unified forward, trying to do make it better for the kids. And I'd like to just mention on that, anytime anybody wants to see anything, and that's bank statements every month, every bit of it. If anybody wants to see it, and I'd like to ask, we'll provide every receipt, everything you can possibly ask for. That way there's no confusion, no question, it's right there of it. If anybody wants to see it, and I'd like to ask, we'll provide everything. It'll be ran right. And not that it never was before. Now, you know.
Like I say, they've done a tremendous job.
Oh, everybody has, you know, I mean, it'll be ran right. And not that it never was before. You know, that's right.
We wanna work with y'all.
Oh, everybody has, you know, I mean, oh, yes, sir.
Without that down there, there won't be a town of Sneads, and I hope people realize that. Without that recreation department down there, especially with the school leaving,
Absolutely.
we're done. Without that down there, I hate to say that, but we are.
Like Ron was saying, is that part for more than just sports, you know, think of how they bring the community together and make our community shine.
We're done.
That's what we're
I hate to say that, but we are.
Like Ron was saying, is that part for something?
Yep, yep.
We're still on the same page.
Think about the names on some of the fields down there. Those people on what got that
Yep,
started.
yep. Oh, and those won't never change as far as my knowledge.
Right, about the names on
Wouldn't want it
some of the
to.
fields down there. Those were done here as people in city council.
Right.
Put on that name.
That's right. And then one other thing I'd like to ask going forward, and this don't have to happen right now, it could be maybe at the next one, but, you know, as some of these improvements are coming in, a lot of this stuff is gonna be our hard labor and time and work and our monies, coming in that park down there. You know, as some of these improvements are coming in, you know, a lot of this stuff is gonna be our hard labor and time and work and our monies, coming in that park. The bathrooms get destroyed. Lord, they've been homeless folks up there living before, and now it's been a while back. But I'd like to see it go from like a 7 to 7 or 6 to 8 or, you know, something like that, and at least have the gates locked. Now your walking track, that's open all the time, and there is ways to get around, but, you know, somebody comes up there and see all the gates locked, it may deter you a little bit,
Right.
you know, because, and I've already seen it with the back cages I've been redoing, and the last folks put some of the board money in on that as well, and my money's in that too. And it's just when I'm putting my hard-earned time and money and everything into doing something, and then just see it kind of get messed up real quick, that's you know, kind of just on the wrong side for me. So I'd like to see that eventually happen, as far as having some kind of set times down there where all the gates are closed and locked, you know.
We'll get to go and bring us a recommendation.
Yeah.
And we'll
All right.
work with you.
We'll do it.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all's time, and we look forward to working with y'all and making some big changes here pretty quick. So,
Thank y'all very much.
and no disrespect, but we're heading down to Johnny Mac's, so we're gonna ease out of here. So if there is time now, y'all go down there. We need the money.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Mr. Rance, turn it over to you, sir.
That's a hard act to follow right there.
Yes, sir.
You could hear him, right?
Could you hear him?
Everybody could hear him, right?
I've been that way the whole night, though.
I've got just a few things I want to go through that's going on right now, just to keep everybody up to abreast of what's going on. Some of it's already been talked about. The Old Town Park is near completion. They're over down there today, they're laying the sod. We're gonna get some tables ordered, and I got the electrician to move some of the cable, some of the lines so that we can put some fans down there, so that when it's hot, that they can have some comfort down there with the fans. It looks really, really nice. If you haven't seen it, you ought to go down and look at it. It's gonna look really, really nice when they get through with it, so, it's coming
I hope
up.
people will keep it nice.
I hope so too. We've applied for a $1.2 million grant, to paint and rehab our water tanks. We've had some stuff from, DEP that said we need to do some upgrades down there, so before it becomes a problem, this grant opportunity, it became available. So we've applied for that. They're going to paint and rehab the water tanks, fix any structural deficiencies that we have with it, replace the wellhead and the motor on the wellhead too. We've already done it on the other wellhead. We've already got that replaced. Redo the structure and install the computerized water meters throughout the town. And I'm working with Hunter on that as well. And that will save a lot of manpower and waste of water and get more accurate readings, et cetera. And it's just, it should have been done years ago probably. But hopefully we'll get that done in the near future. I'm leaving, Thursday for the League of Cities meeting down there, and, I'll be back this weekend. New fire truck is ready. It is in South Dakota. 3 of our people are up there now looking at it and going through it, inspecting it and checking to make sure that everything on it's right. It will probably be coming down the middle of the month, and, so we should have our new fire truck. We'll make sure that we have a picture for the paper for it. The town is needing to add another bay to put the new truck in, and I think Gary and Eric and some of them have been looking to see what it would cost to add a bay to the fire department right there that we have now, and the estimated cost is about $10,000. So we're going to see if we can afford that or not, but we don't need to leave that brand new truck out in the weather. So we've got to do something with it. We probably need a new firehouse, but that's another grant for another day. But we got to do something to maintain the equipment that we have. They make 200-something calls a month. I mean, they do an amazing amount of work, and excuse me, a year. I mean a year. Yeah.
Time for Andrew to earn his money. We need a new firehouse.
Yeah, 200-something a year. Let me go back. They are busy. So we got to work on trying to get a bay for that, and we're trying to see if we can get that done. The Sneads branch of the county tax office will be closing on 10/1/25. Part of that is Doge stuff coming from Tallahassee about, duplication of effort, and making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do with your monies, and it's just a cost savings. They're closing the one in Sneads and Graceville. It's gonna cost the town about $13,000 a year that we're losing in rental fees from the county, so that's a kind of a loss of revenue that we're gonna have to look at. Still waiting on a lease for the Lake Seminole Park. I talked to a guy from Tuscaloosa with the Corps of Engineers, and they're combining the 2 leases, making one, and we should know something in the next few months, hopefully. Dodson Park family wants to have a ribbon cutting to officially open Dodson Park on October the 17th during homecoming week, so I just thought I'd put that on there. They're gonna have all the family there, and it's the day of homecoming, so they wanna have a ribbon cutting, and they asked for this, so we're gonna try to make sure we accommodate.
Will it be before or after the parade?
Gotta figure that out. I'm gonna check with the school and check out times, probably after the parade and before the ball game, something like that. That's kind of what we're talking about. But I need to get more specifics as far as what the time frames are for the parade and everything, and kind of get back in touch with them. I think the problem at the industrial park has been resolved. We've had people in there that we couldn't get out, and there's some questions to who owned what, and who belonged there, and who had the lease, and it's just been has it been a mess?
Nothing we couldn't handle.
And I will give our attorney a lot of credit. He was very good in working with them. We're gonna probably have a meeting next week and get everything anything that they say that they have or own, they're gonna turn it over to us. We're gonna clean it out, and then we can take care of it and use it as an industrial park, like it should have been done all along. And we've got some people that wanna rent it out and use it as an industrial park. So that's what's gonna happen. Hopefully, we'll get it all done next week. It's been a long time coming. Ever since I've been here, it's been used as a storage facility, and it's not being used for what it needs to be used for. So I think we got it resolved, and we'll be able to move forward after next week. That's about it.
All right, well, thank you, sir. Mr. Scott? Nothing?
He just covered what I.
He covered you, okay, good deal. All right, chief?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, a couple of things I wanted to address with the council is tomorrow is gonna be the first day of school. It's gonna be a little different because we're not the same size that we were. But what's gonna happen is, I talked to the principal, and they're only letting the parents walk their child to school one day. That's the plan. For the next couple of weeks, I mean, y'all are pretty familiar how the traffic is. It's gonna be backed up. It's gonna be aggravated for the first few weeks because you got new parents coming in that's not gonna know how we do the parking. But me and Mr. Keys has a system. I'll be there in the morning for the first day of school, and then that afternoon, I'll be down there with Sergeant Hollis because I got to show him how to do it. So that's what's happening tomorrow, and it's gonna be like that for the next few weeks. So y'all probably gonna have people complaining to you about how it's gonna get backed up. We just ask that they be patient with us.
Yes.
Till everybody gets used to how we do it. Once we get that system going, I got to hand it to the teachers. They're pretty good. You know, they kind of want the people to pick up their kid and go,
Right.
so we can keep the lines going. Also, the National Night Out, I want to point out, I want to thank Bubba and Mary Baker for having that for us. They do that for all law enforcement and first responders. The weather wasn't cooperating with us, but you know, you can't do nothing about Mother Nature. This is what it is. But it does make me feel good that you've got that kind of support and people recognize, you know, what we do. And I do want to start out, which y'all probably don't know these names. I know you wouldn't know them, but this week, 2 law enforcement officers have died. One died in the line of duty and one died because of illness. So I want to recognize Lieutenant Chad King, who died from stomach cancer. He was with the Bay County Sheriff's Office. He's with the U.S. Marshals Task Force, and I believe he was still working when he passed away. And I want to recognize DeKalb County Officer David Rose, who I'm sure y'all found out about. He was the one that responded to the CDC, and he never made it out of his car before he was gone down. So I want to recognize them. And I'm going to get to the monthly report now. So this goes from July the 12th to August the 12th. We had 105 business checks, 93 extra patrol requests. Let me explain to y'all the difference between the business checks and the patrol requests. It goes by a code. Business checks is when we check all our local businesses in town. The extra patrol request is when people ask us to keep extra patrols on whether it's a residence or a business. So that's the difference. So it's 2 different things, even though it might be the same thing. Does that make sense? Okay. So once again, 105 business checks, 93 extra patrol requests. We had 6 agency assists. We had 2 criminal mischiefs, 3 commercial alarms, 5 domestic disturbances, 3 traffic crashes, 6 animal complaints, 5 animal complaints, I apologize, 6 public nuisances, 4 stalking and harassment complaints, 7 traffic stops. We also had 6 trespassing complaints. We had 4 thefts, and y'all probably are aware we did have a motor vehicle theft. I can't go into a lot of detail about that right now, but trust me, we're working with another agency and we know what it is. That's all I can say. We know where it is. That's all I can say about that right now. Okay, total for the month from July the 12th to August the 12th, we had 449 calls for service, whether self-initiated or actually dispatched to us. And I do want to run this by y'all. So, found out from Danielle yesterday, so y'all know we got a fleet of vehicles down there. They've been moved down there to what we do amnesty. I'll be honest with y'all, we're not doing anything with them. I didn't realize that, but the city's still paying insurance on cars we ain't doing nothing with. So I got a list of them that I gave to Mr. Rentz. I'm gonna give a copy to Danielle. We're gonna put those up for sale and get them on out of here and get them off the town's insurance. Because honestly, we're not gonna do anything with them. Some of the vehicles y'all see out front, that's our fleet. The Dodge Charger, I talked to you a little bit about that, Mr. Hunter. We're gonna get rid of that. And the reason why is because we spent more money in it and it's actually been in the shop more than it's been on the road. Unfortunately, that's a 2019, but from Talmadge's garage to here, it was already running hot. And the only other option I got is to haul it to Cairo to see if they can fix it. I don't think it's worth it anymore. So we're gonna keep the other fleet that we got, and that Dodge Charger is gonna be added to the fleet we're gonna get rid of, and just take that off the city's insurance, and they ain't got to pay it. I mean, we ain't gonna use it, we might as well get rid of them as quick as the city possibly can. The sign, I know y'all see it's falling apart. Sergeant Hollis was getting a correction on that. We're gonna do a replacement. It's gonna be a heavy-duty metal sign, heavy-duty metal backer. The cost to replace that sign is only gonna be about $250, and it's just gonna be the patch. It's gonna look similar to what's there now, but it'll withstand the weather. That's just weather wear. So we're gonna get that out of here as soon as we can. So, anybody got any questions?
Appreciate all y'all doing.
Yeah, no problem.
Y'all stay pretty busy, look like according to these numbers there.
Yeah, we do. But,
I got a question or two, Brett.
yes, go ahead.
And you probably know what I'm gonna ask, but it's because we've had people ask why there's not somebody at the police department during the day.
Yes,
And, you know, as a chief, that's normally an administrative shift.
yes,
And I got your text or email that y'all are gonna work certain shifts or whatever.
we were moving to 12 to 12, yes,
Right.
ma'am.
As a chief, I know that that's a shift that should be a day shift, because, I mean, it's an honor for one, but people wanna talk to the chief, you know, they have questions, they wanna come in and cover concerns, whatever comes up. And I know y'all want to work the 12s, so we need to figure out, how y'all wanna do that. If you're wanting to work 12s, I think that's great. If you wanna do 7 to 7, and if Sergeant Hollis wants to do 7 to whatever, or, you know, if there's a 3-hour lapse there and Officer Johnson wants to do his part-time in the middle there, but we definitely don't need to be running up part-time pay that's making almost 80 hours, you
Yes,
know what I'm
ma'am.
saying? But, you know, as we congratulated you last month, the chief needs to definitely be an administrative shift now.
Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, I don't care if you do 12 hours, it doesn't bother me, and if it doesn't bother you, it definitely doesn't bother us. But I'd like to see you here during the day, as I think some of the others do, as well as some of the townspeople, just because they wanna see a face there. We wanted to keep y'all, of course, we love you, but we need you here, you know, during
Yes,
the
ma'am.
day. And like you said, school's starting, they're definitely gonna need help during the day. So, you know, instead of people complaining, oh, we can't get anybody here, there's never anybody there.
And I can address that. So I moved everybody from 12P to 12A. After that, the SO covers. The reason why I did that is because there's certain days that Officer Johnson won't be able to work. So if I work in 8 to 4, and it's on Sergeant Hollis's day off, you're talking about a gap from 4 p.m. to 8 the next morning where there actually isn't a Sneads officer there, and that kind of bothers me to have it open that long. That is why I'm doing this right now. I was hoping to push closer to an admin depending on what happens in October, but that was why I was doing that. I do flex. I will come in and do a 10 to 10. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna flex, because technically, with me staying on 12 with the rest of the rotation, it would technically be my day off, but we have to have somebody down there tomorrow, and I have to make adjustments for the school zone, because we gotta have somebody down there every afternoon. But I was just answering y'all's question as to why I did that. It actually had to do with us not having an officer from 4 p.m. to 8 the next morning on days that Officer Johnson couldn't work. Now, there's gonna be days that Officer Johnson can work, and it's not a problem. And there's gonna be days that Sergeant Hollis comes in at 12, and he's actually relieving me, so I'll have that relief. But if I have to keep him down a certain amount of hours, Officer Johnson, that's what I was concerned about. I didn't like the idea of having it open that long, if you understand what I'm saying.
Is there a way that we can get copies of the schedules when you make them? Because we have citizens that come in all the time that are asking for, when I call
Yes.
you, and we never know who's here.
Yes.
And I hate to call wake up, especially on your day off.
That's what y'all pay me for. I don't mind.
Oh, well, I'm gonna touch base on that as next. So, saying that, I feel like since the council's not here, and especially with this happening, that maybe the city manager be placed over the PD just to monitor day-to-day stuff or handle stuff should you not be here or whatever. I know it's been done in the past, and like I said, none of us are gonna be sitting up here during the middle of the day. And it's not him being anybody's boss or anything, but should there be something to come up, you're gonna sit down and talk to him about budget stuff and all anyway, you're not gonna talk to us about it.
That's
So,
correct.
and I don't know if that's something that has to be voted on, or how we need to discuss that, and I don't know if that's an extra duty that Bill wants to pick up, because he's not gonna be paid for it. But,
You understood why I said that. Do y'all understand why I said that?
I do, but still, the administrative shift, if it's a Monday through Friday normally, even doing the 12-hour, the 7 to 7, and Mr. Hollis picking up the days that he works, you know, we've said that the sheriff's department said they will pick up and cover whenever we need them to, and then sprinkle Mr. Johnson in there whenever we had to, part-time, not to exceed 30 hours per pay period.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's something to sit down and work over a schedule with, but nobody else is chiming in, but I feel like as an administrative chief, that's understood that you're a day shift person.
Yes, ma'am.
And people wanna see the chief here during the day. So what's y'all's opinions on that? Anybody got anything to say?
I talked to Brett earlier, and I suggested the 7 to 7 for him.
But is that a suggestion, or is that something that's always been, like the chief's always been here during the day?
The chief has always been here during the day.
Okay.
But I do want to reiterate, it is a different department now. What I'm trying to do with what I've got is to have the public see Sneads PD as much as possible. And I'm gonna explain that, Andrew. The sheriff's department will cover that. That's not a problem. But, I mean, y'all are all from here, so the citizens are used to a kind of a quicker response. The sheriff's department, they can't, how do I put it?
They can't respond.
Yeah, what it is they have to cover the county, so there'll be times where they're all tied up, and they have to wait for the next deputy. So I was just trying to minimize that response, because we went to that schedule figuring that most of our calls would be early afternoon to late evening. But yes, ma'am, you are correct. The chief is usually seen all the time during the day. Mr. Arnold discussed that with me. That is true.
Well, then maybe it would work out for what I suggested about Mr. Rents being like over, when I say over, I don't mean over, but like the day-to-day stuff, that if you're not here, if somebody's got a question, they can talk to him, like Jordan was asking for y'all's schedule. He would have your schedule. He would know your times that you're gonna be here, or should Mr. Hollis be here, or if it's gonna be Officer Johnson, and then that way we don't run into the chance of running up and running out of pay for budgets for out of sight part-time people that we've just jacked up their pay to $20 an hour.
Yes,
See what I'm
ma'am.
saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's just my suggestion, and I think it's probably something that we need to all discuss, and if it's not voted on or it's not agreed upon, then so be it. I just feel like that would be, at least for right now, since you did say this is just a temporary thing. I understand what you're telling me, and I
Yes,
agree,
ma'am.
I understand that. And I see what you're saying, I see where you're coming from.
Yes,
As
ma'am.
long as the schools are covered down here, the elementary school mainly, because of the traffic issue, you know how it is, that's
Yes, ma'am.
fine.
And I will be back in the morning and Thursday morning too. We've got to handle those first few days,
Right.
especially in the morning. In the
Right.
afternoons, we gotta have somebody down there
Right.
every
Where's
day.
your county school resource officer at?
Okay, you know where Old Spanish and Lock you mean? Lock is the school.
But he is working traffic.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah, it
no,
takes
sir.
two of 'em.
He's at the front.
Okay.
So he actually has to be with the kids.
In the mornings, there's two lines.
Yeah,
Like on
there's
the
two
up
lines.
there, there's two lines, so when you go
Yeah.
in, you'll have a second line lined up.
Yes.
After that first one gets finished, and the second one can go through. He stops that second line,
Right.
so no kids are getting ran over at that crossing.
Yes.
One other question,
Yes, sir.
didn't we decide at the last meeting to hire a third police officer? Are we waiting on the budget numbers to?
They were waiting on the budget numbers
Yeah, we
and
said
all.
we would
But if
wait.
we're spending 70 for a part-time person making $20 an hour, and he's getting 72 hours in a pay period, how do you gonna have the extra money? We're not, we're
Y'all-
gonna
y'all
spend
agreed
all
to
our
wait-
money.
Y'all agreed to wait till October.
October.
Is there any way the county could help us out in that decision from the county to the town?
They're already.
They cover when they're called, they
Yeah,
cover.
They cover when they call. They're already doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
He has to be in the office every day for one person or two people to come in. Well, then what's happening all like where we need him out in the field?
No, he's patrolling, he's
So
a,
you're not having to be in the.
no,
office.
he's available.
Oh, so I didn't understand that.
Well, we're being dispatched through the county.
Oh.
So what'll happen is if I'm not there, the sheriff department will call me to meet somebody at the station.
Okay, and if somebody has a complaint, let them come over here and call you, and you can come to them?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, how many complaints are there that people, I mean, are they?
Okay, well, the whole point of us wanting a police department, correct?
Yeah.
We wanted to see a Sneads Police Department, am I
Well,
correct?
if you do another thing, can't you call them and tell them to come here?
We can, but we can't call people and say, hey, can you come back at 2 o'clock? There's some people that come on their lunch break.
Well, and like I had somebody that needed a copy of I guess a traffic report that had happened, and they wasn't even from here. They had to come back the next day because nobody would be here on duty until the next day at 2:30. It was really hard to translate because they wasn't even really speaking English.
We don't have the money right now. We don't know what we've got till the budget comes. Y'all just don't,
Oh, I know about the.
if we continue and this Doge stuff continues like it is, you're gonna look at us losing our town and possibly becoming
What do we do
unincorporated.
about getting rid of those? Who in Sam Hill's those?
That's the government, that's the government. Well, that ain't happening.
Cause it was,
Quentin, you want, yes, sir?
and then have police protection, that's what need to be.
Get it back in order. Hey,
And you need to
hey,
come to the mic.
I'm just saying what I need to say.
I know. Let me,
But
let me,
it's always
let,
got been a police department, so I don't know what she's saying,
we know.
but it's what, I'm concerned, I feel like it always will be.
right, okay.
Because the government comes on take over and all this kind of stuff, no, let me say what I need to say. So right is right.
Quentin, what's going on?
To clarify a little bit, there's just two of them, and actually a little bit. There's 168 hours in the week. So if you move the chief to day shift, say 7 to 7, in 3 days, he's used up his hours for the week. 3.5 days. If you move him 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, and then I work 4 at night to 4 in the morning, I'm only here 2 days one week, 5 days the next. So that means either 5 or 2 days a week, there's nobody here at night. You follow what I'm saying? So what we've been trying to do is, he works some days, I work the others, and we have somebody here 7 days a week during the busiest time of our day. That's what we've been trying to do. And he backed us up to 12 to 12 because of school zone. So we're just trying, once we get a third person, he can work day shift, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and then us other two can work 4 to 4 at night, alternating, and we'll be covered. We'll be
Well,
good.
what would've been nice though is for the council to have known that, instead of people coming to us and saying, nobody at the police department, nobody at the police department, you know, to notify us of those type things, instead of just making decisions that quick without, you know, we fuss, people have fussed, we want the police department as well as us. But then when we have people come to us fussing at us that, well, there's nobody there, So it's a, you know, a no-win. So I'm just addressing questions, just like y'all are fussing at us about whatever, you
So
know.
when you call, they
Well-
will expect somebody, they will send them officer to your house.
They were out
I
of
have
town
called,
Thursday.
and I know they'll do that.
They will,
But
you're
I never
absolutely
came-
right.
I never came to the city hall and said, Mr. Bill, I need to get in touch with the police department.
Okay,
I go through the protocol, that's protocol you got to go through.
have you called them this month?
No, because I hadn't needed.
Okay.
I thought there was another auxiliary officer, isn't there too? I was
Yes,
under the impression
But some
that-
is just on
they're auxiliary, but we don't utilize them. We utilize the
Couldn't we utilize?
Matt Waters, no, because they're not getting paid. They don't get paid, and I'll be honest with you, you ain't gonna find nobody that's willing to do this without getting paid. You just ain't gonna find it,
Can't blame them.
They only have to work one day a month
yes.
to
But
get the person's home.
But now,
To
if there's no other concern, if nobody else has had it mentioned to them, if I'm the only one that had it mentioned,
No,
hey,
ma'am.
we'll drop it right there.
no, ma'am, you're not. Mr. Arnold has talked to me about that as well. Mr. Perry has talked to me about it as well. But
And
that,
like I said, as long as you feel like you've got it covered, and it's covered, that's fine, but
that-
eventually we want to get to that. Because like I said, you're chief, we want your face seen. We want to say, hey, Brett Preston's chief of the, Sneads Police Department.
yes, ma'am.
So you work it however you feel like you need to work, if everybody else is in agreement of that, and, I just was not aware of it, I'm sorry.
Well, that is what I did. I did move everybody back to 12P to 12A, and I'm flexing like I'm doing now to cover the school. In the afternoon, I'll either have Quentin or Ashley, but that, I was just trying to minimize the county coverage. That's my goal, because the county can cover, it's not that. I guess what I'm trying to make you understand is that the more they cover, you'll start to see a little change in response times. And it's honestly not their fault. I work with them, and have y'all ever seen them, y'all are from here, have y'all ever seen a map of this county?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, and I know people ready to go home.
It's one of the biggest in the state.
Yes, sir. So
7 March by land.
Jackson County, Sneads, we've only got 4 square miles, the town limits. The deputy that covers this zone, Sneads falls in what we call D Delta zone. D zone by itself is almost 300 square miles. So, trust me, I do understand what y'all want me to do. It's not
And we're
bad.
thankful for y'all and your response time. I like to know that when I call that I'm gonna get y'all, but like
Yes,
when I
ma'am.
call, I'm gonna get the sheriff's department and they're gonna have to call y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it takes 50 million questions, but you know,
Yes,
hey,
ma'am.
and y'all show up, that's great, but like I
That's
said,
true.
just continue to do, if that's an agreement with everybody else, until
Well, I
otherwise.
mean, you know, the way I look at it is, I work for the people behind me and I work for y'all. So if that's what you're asking, I will do what I have to. But the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I'm trying to minimize the amount of time the county's covered.
Give them your schedule.
Yes, we need to have a
Give
schedule.
them a schedule.
We need to have a schedule, but I do wanna know about the, city manager overseeing the police department.
I think it's better to put it as a coordination, you know, to work with Bill.
Right, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, not
And
really
I didn't know what word to say. I don't mean oversee them or
you know,
whatever, but yeah.
communication,
In
coordination.
collaboration with you.
Right, yeah.
Bill will be somewhat like a contact person
Yes, sir.
for you. You know, so if they call him and say, hey, you got somebody here that needs this, somebody might have to come in and get it for them, like a police report, you know, for an accident report, you know, if you're the only one on, you know, so if you're out and about, they can come in here, contact him, he can contact you, you can come in, get them their report, and then we can go back out and do what you need to do.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I mean, you're
And-
collaborating with him
and-
anyway about budgets and stuff correctly? I mean,
Yeah.
correct, with he and Danielle, I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah, I am. That's one of the new responsibilities I got.
right.
Well, and use your resources. I mean, you can learn a lot, like, especially from Danielle, that's who I've learned the most from.
No, right, okay.
Mr. Weeks,
She's right.
you got anything?
Sir,
You got anything on it?
I sit here and help promote you to chief, and I'm depending on you.
Yes, sir.
To run it like you need to run it. You know what I'm saying? And we can't, like she said, we can't run it.
Yes, sir.
But we have these things that people bring to us that we, you know, that we got to question and talk about, you know. And it's just like, you know, I want y'all to be in good working relationship with the city manager and the town people.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, Danielle and them, good open line of communication. We need to work together. And we need to
Yes.
be able to answer these people's questions. Like the lady said, you know, somebody had to come back the next day to get a report, you know.
Yes.
I know you dedicated to your job.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I told you a bunch of times, and I'll tell you again, don't wear yourself out with it. Hang it up and go to the house and tell the county, look, you got to send somebody down here to take these calls for me. I got to have a break. There's no need to kill yourself with this stuff,
And no shame in it.
you know. I appreciate all you do. These people in this community do too. That's all y'all. But
Yes.
like I say, you just can't continue to wear yourself out till you look self with it, you know. But I'm counting on you. I know you can do it. And like I say, if y'all communicate, work together, I mean, I think it'll work out.
Yes.
And I'm one that would personally like to see you here, you know, like a chief's supposed to be, daylight hours and be available for the people and all, you know. But like I say, you're a dedicated officer and a dedicated chief, and you're trying to get as much coverage as you can for the people. And I appreciate that.
What are you saying, Chief?
No, you wanted to say something too?
No, I just go along with Ms. Lott. We need to know who's on duty and, you know, kind of sort of report in so that we do know who we can contact. The changes that's made. I mean, you know, like they say, everybody, I guess, needs a boss. I'm not saying that Bill will be your boss, but the coordinator. So that-
Contact.
Contact, so that, you know, if you're needed or another officer, we'll know who. If Mr. Ling is not here, then we know we gotta call you for backup, whatever, just a schedule.
Yes, ma'am.
And we need to say that that's what's going to happen tonight, because this is a thing that's been
Right.
out in midair for a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, we need to, that's why, I guess that's why I mentioned it tonight before it continue, and just to have closure, just so I knew what was going on, and if we knew how the schedule was gonna continue, and I understand, you know, with 2.5 officers, I can imagine how, well, I can't, no, I ain't gonna lie, I
We-
can't imagine.
We can't fathom what y'all do.
No, no.
Period. So like I say, you got 2, and you got Ashley, and he's part-time. So I understand you setting up your schedule 12 to 12. And you're still here during some of the day as well, you know, so, but handle it, and let's move on.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what was that verdict?
Tell the complainers to call me.
So what did we decide? That he is gonna coordinate with Bill correct? I mean, that ain't, have we got a vote on that?
No, it should be
We talk
communicated.
every day
Just-
anyway.
Them two right there, they're already communicating
We talk
amongst
every day
themselves,
anyway.
but like she made a good point about just having
And
the
he's gonna give
schedule.
it, okay,
Right,
yeah.
you know.
He's gonna turn in a weekly schedule, correct?
And we'll get together and get it worked out.
This is declaring surplus.
Yeah.
We didn't declare it, we didn't know what all All right,
Chief, you're gonna turn in a weekly schedule to Mr. Rentz then, so he just knows who's working? Okay. All right, thank you. That's fine. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Kathy. Would you say something?
I said, thank you.
Oh, okay.
do we need to go ahead and make a motion or vote on declaring this surplus property so we can go ahead and move forward with that? Mr. Attorney says so. We can ready.
I'll make a motion to declare these surplus vehicles on the list.
I think we're gonna put them out for sale for a short time, and then if they don't, then we're gonna turn them into surplus if we don't get bids for them.
Okay, okay.
Well, you
You'll be-
declare them as surplus,
Right.
and then we go out, we advertise them for
Motion by
bids.
Mr. Arnold,
Declare surplus.
surplus vehicles, I have a second. Second, okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries, thank you. All right, anybody here from the fire department, don't look like they in South Dakota?
Yeah, they-
The fire department are in South Dakota looking at the truck and inspecting it, and they're real excited, and they'll be back in a couple of days, and the truck will be here by mid-month probably.
Kate, anything?
They're gonna drive it down here.
No?
Not them.
The one thing I'd like to mention, Wendy Lewis, Matt Neal, and Megan McIntosh for running the rec department for the last 3 or 4 years. They've done a real good job with it, great job. They've done a lot of cleanup, and if you don't know it, they've had a couple of work days. Well, 3 of them showed up, and it was them 3. So they painted everything down there that they could paint.
I agree.
We supplied them to paint, what the city did, and they painted themselves. Dugouts, everything down there. So if they have a work day, I hope they get some people to show up.
They chalk the fields.
And they chalk the
they
fields
did
every day
everything.
themselves.
They did
Matt,
everything.
Matt had went out and got the 3-wheel machine, you know, to drag the fields with, and that was a plus, a big help for, and you got, well, Bill got that. Matt requested it.
He did.
So, but that was a big asset, and, like I say,
They did a
Brett,
good
y'all
job.
just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
I got just one thing I wanna mention to you. I talked to you about it before, Bill. I'd like to see move forward a little bit more on some of this nuisance stuff. And get out a few more letters if you can, you know. My main concern is, you know, school sticks are starting. You got Old Spanish Trail, you got a bunch of eyesores up down through there, and then out here at Highway 90, you know, crossing lights and some stuff.
I sent some registered letters last week and they came back.
Oh,
Some
they came back,
certified-
okay.
Certified letters. I
And
don't know if
then,
they wouldn't accept them or what, but I'm fixing to send another letter.
Have we moved any further on Pope Street over with that guy, or?
I can't get up with him, he's gone.
Okay.
He's been in Jacksonville and I've tried to contact him several times. I'll catch him sooner or later.
Well, what if it's like, what can we do? Like, if we continue not to be able to get up there?
Well, we can put we could start finding him and put a lien on his property.
We'll probably have to go
get the county judge to give us a, order, and that we can, eventually sell the property.
But the town will probably be responsible for cleaning it up to sell it.
We would clean it, what we would do is go in and clean it up, and then send him the bill for what it cost us to get it cleaned up. And then when he doesn't pay it is when we get the judgment and file the lien.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Ms. Badley, you would approach the podium, you're next.
Oh, I get to come up here and talk?
Yes, ma'am. I wanna be able to hear you.
Right there, right at the podium.
You have to face her.
No, ma'am, face us. Talk to us.
My name is Joyce Medley.
This way, behind the podium, and talk to us.
Yeah,
I don't like that. My name is Joyce Medley. I came because we have a problem with animal control. I know this has been addressed countless times, but it needs to be addressed again. And I gotta think a minute before my other thing.
Like some examples, can you give us?
Yeah, dogs, cats,
People,
boat.
dog, cats, people that want to assume no responsibility. So when we take care of the animals, we need to take care of some of the adults.
Are you sure?
The other thing was the tax collector.
Sir?
Tax collector is what you made on your note.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
just
yeah, the
reminding
tax collector. Yeah, that's one of my big ones. Thank you for reminding me. I'm very upset about the
But
tax
before you
collector.
get into that, we do need to talk about the animals.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Got my cart ahead of my horse.
We got ordinances, we got leash laws and things of that nature. We don't have the manpower to enforce it.
Well, if we'll get some leashes, and I'll gather them all up, and I'll take them to county. I'll take them to Mariana.
You know, not that it's funny, because it's not, because I had the same
No, I
problem.
know.
You know, I don't know, what's the cost now to dispose of one? Y'all,
It's like almost $80 an animal.
Yes.
$80 a head now to dispose
almost
of
90
them,
now.
is what it costs the town.
Yeah.
And, you know, then,
Well, then send letters and say, get rid of dogs.
yes, ma'am, we need, that's,
I mean, maybe we should start finding where we don't know who they belong to.
Yep.
Can they be fined?
If we knew who
Do
they
you know
belong
whose
to.
dog they are? Do you know whose animal they are?
Are they stray dogs?
Are they stray, or do you know who they
Well,
are?
I believe I do, and there's one of them that's obviously had a ton of puppies. But then we experienced that years ago when somebody put a dead one under our garage and then wanted to blame us for having shot it.
Okay,
but-
so if you know whose animal it is, if you'll let us know.
I saw the dogs go into the yard today. It's the same address that it's always been addressed to.
Okay, so if you know whose animal it is, if you'll let us know.
Mr. Rentz knows them.
The one across the street?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then
I've
we
addressed that
can,
with them a few
I don't wanna
times.
go over there because I probably get in a fuss.
we can address that, we can give them we can send them a letter and tell them they need to, you know,
What
take care
good's
of
a
their
letter gonna
animal.
do?
And if they don't, then we'll set a trap and pick it up.
maybe we can, you know, take the back order card and send it out to everybody, encouraging them to do something with their animals.
And we
You know,
do set out traps and we do catch
you know,
them, and then
but,
the animal
you know,
control
then-
comes and picks them
I
up.
mean, I don't want the town to have to incur money, you know, that we don't have,
Yeah.
because I'm a very dollar conscientious person. But if they don't respond to the letters, then they need to do something with the dogs, or we need to do something with them.
Well, that's the only option we really have, is to catch them and take them down, and we'll put in the pen, they come pick them up, and then they take them.
And don't bring them home.
Yeah, to Mariana.
And if the parents go with them, let them stay too.
I don't think we have a pound for them.
Can we ask
I'm
the
just-
county for help on that?
They do come down and
That's
pick them up.
vicious dogs.
Is
Yeah.
it vicious dogs?
Vicious
Okay,
dogs,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I know our little dog, I was
We have
working
to
in the
get
yard and I opened the gate
Okay.
and left it open momentarily and my little dog got out. And then a dog from that same residence jumped the fence to our little dog.
All right, well, we'll work on that through that and maybe get some relief there,
Okay,
hopefully.
okay.
So go ahead and move
Now,
on to your tax
now
collector.
back to the other thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's the,
Tax collector
tax
closed.
collector's office. Is there a way that possibly that we could have somebody since this is a municipal building, is there any way that there could be someone that could work within this here, maybe 2 days a week, to keep us from losing that? Because we have a lot of elderly people.
That's,
That's the
it's a county.
decision.
That's the county,
Huh?
the county chose to do that, the tax collector.
You have to go to a county meeting.
So they rent the building from us.
They bought the old, social security building, and they spent a couple, I think, $1 million on that building, so they're moving everybody, even the tax collector from.
So
the-
they're closing all of them?
Yeah, even the one from the courthouse is moving there, the DMV from the highway patrol is going down there.
But it's
So
my
it-
understanding that Sneads and some other
And
places.
Graceville, and then the DMV, Graceville, they have one in Graceville, that office is closing, Sneads is closing, the DMV from out there by the highway patrol, they're all going to that central office.
So there's no way someone could come from there.
They've got to try to cut costs, so they're moving everybody to one central office, that new building that they purchased.
Well, if they're gonna pay somebody to work there, why couldn't they pay somebody to work in one office here?
Because they're paying rent at these other buildings, and so they're moving everybody.
Well, why would they have to pay rent here?
Cause it's
They
our
pay that.
building.
It's our
It's a
building.
city building.
That's
They're
our
renting
building.
that, they have
That's how we
rented that.
make money, that's our rent.
That's our building, they rent from us.
And the bottom line, I
Losing
talked with,
$13,000.
the tax collector, she just said that the revenue coming in here did not offset the costs for, having to hire 2 people, the electricity, the computers. I'm just telling you what they told me, that it
They
didn't.
blow smoke up our heinies.
I don't know about that, they just said it didn't justify they were having
Yeah.
to close, and that's just what they told me.
Well, I guess I lost tonight.
Appreciate your concern, though. We all
Thank you for
concerned,
coming.
but Ain't nothing we can do there.
And Lord knows if I was available, if I didn't have so many sick folks, I might jump on the bandwagon.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else notice anything want to bring our attention for during the meeting?